What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with that what to expect from the San Antonio Spurs. We talked about the Rockets yesterday. Now it's time to talk about the Western Conference Finals. They appeared there this year. They was able to beat the Rockets even without Kawhi Leonard the whole series. And then they got beat by the Warriors in 4 because Kawhi, Tony, and all the David Lee, everybody was going fucking down in that series, and the Warriors was able to win the championship. And I felt that whoever won the series between the Warriors and the Spurs was going to win the ring. And I'm about to get crucified for it, but I'm going to tell you the truth. This year, to me, whoever wins the Warriors and the Spurs series, to me, will win the championship again because I don't like Cleveland. I don't trust Boston enough this first year, and they got bad matchups against the Spurs and the Warriors, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Boston Celtics. So with that being said, I like that the Spurs are good. Everybody kept telling me over the years when I used to meet people, because I'm an analyst, people trust me on basketball and people want to know my opinion, is that what about Kawhi Leonard? They don't have Tim Duncan. They ain't going to be nothing. They can't do this. Like, hey, they got Paul Gasol. He can do similar things to what Tim Duncan did. Obviously, he's not the rim protector that Tim Duncan is, but he can post up, knock down the fadeaway, knock down the mid-range jumper. He can stretch out the floor to the three-point line every once in a while, and he's a good free throw shooter. He can play make out of the post, and they end up working because the Spurs did win 60 games and went to the Western Conference Finals without Tim Duncan. So that shows you that Kawhi Leonard should have been MVP, and that shows you how dominant the Spurs are, that they was able to accomplish these things without their best players in the postseason, and they was able to win 60 games without Tim Duncan for the first year he was gone. Kawhi Leonard put up amazing numbers. He took over fourth quarters. He was clutch. He was an all NBA defensive player and all NBA player in general. That means he's a franchise player, and he able to win 60. So he proved a lot of things. Obviously, he didn't get rewarded from it for not getting an MVP. But with that being said, this is going to be another good year for the Spurs. They have the size with LaMarcus and Paul Gasol to basically pair up with the Warriors or any team that can go big. They can go small with LaMarcus at the 5. And to me, they lost Dwayne Dedmon and Jonathan Simmons. I didn't like that they lost those players, but they still had to find a way to manage and get talent back. Tony Parker will be healthier. Obviously, he hasn't been the same Tony Parker over the years, but he's still a good point guard, and you still have a solid backup with Patty Mills. Another thing I want to say is they picked up Rudy Gay. He's coming off of Achilles, but he's not going to be asked to do much. He can still put the ball in the basket. Maybe he can be that Manu Ginobili, come in and not spread out the floor, give him some offense every blue moon, and basically step up and have a offensive season, probably 10, 11 points off the bench. If he can do that, because he still averaged good numbers in Sacramento, then that would be a decent pickup for the price. He only getting paid $8 million to come off the bench and put the ball in the basket. You still have Danny Green. You still have DeJounte Murray, who improved and showed what he can do in the playoffs and during the regular season when he got minutes. He's on a cheap contract, and they didn't get Kyrie, they didn't get Chris Paul, but it didn't really matter because this team is still going to be hard to defeat because of their perimeter defenders and Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, and with their size with Paul Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge, they can basically beat up small lineups, and they can go small with the smaller lineups and still match up good with Danny, with Kawhi, with Patty Mills, and if they have to, David Lee can play small ball 5. He's not the defender, but he plays with a lot of effort and energy, and that makes up for something. So with that being said, I like the Spurs roster. I think they're going to be a championship contender. I think they're going to win 60 games. Obviously, it will come down to who wins the Warriors-Spurs series to win the championship. I feel that way this year too. And if no trades are made or no major moves are made during now and free agency, now in the trade deadline, then all I can see is the Spurs Warriors Western Conference Finals again. Only way it can be messed up if Houston makes a move and they're able to acquire that third guy to put them over the top like Carmelo or somebody else, then they will be competing against the Warriors. But the Spurs will still match up good against the Rockets. So it still will be a hard-fought series, but I'm glad about the progress of Kawhi Leonard. He took leadership, he played harder, he played smarter, and he was clutch in fourth quarters, and he took over a lot of fourth quarters, including against Memphis, and he was able to close out his first series without Tim Duncan against Memphis, and obviously he was able to get to the Western Conference Finals. So the Spurs is the Spurs. You know, they're going to have Greg Popovich, they're going to have Kawhi Leonard, and they're going to have a chance because of those reasons. And as long as they have those people, they're going to be relevant and tough to beat for many years to come. So with that being said, you have to give respect and you have to pay dues to the Spurs because they've been consistent. Obviously, they haven't won a championship since 2014, but that shows you how hard it is to continually to win championships in general because the teams are always changing and people are always making moves. But they still had a chance last year. They just came up short, probably due to injury because we don't know what would have happened in that series. So even though they're a year older, they got a lot more wear and tear on their bodies. Kawhi Leonard is going to continue to improve. He improved every goddamn season, and he's still efficient at that. He's literally the man now, and he still is efficient, and he's a tough shot maker too now. So with that being said, I like the team, and I think that they're going to be going back to the Western Conference Finals, and I think they're going to have another shot at winning a championship if everything goes right and they can match up against any team, like I said. And with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the comment section in the description below. And also like on my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. The link will also be in the comment in the description below. All you gotta do is like the page, click the link, like the page, and show support. That's all I'm asking. Let me know what you guys think about the Spurs. It's basically getting boring because we used to the Spurs dominating.